let's stitch brick stitch. I've got 3 strands of thread here, just tied a knot in the end, trimmed off the excess. I'm going to stitch along this line that I already have on my fabric, but you don't need to draw a line if you don't want to, or if you're following the pattern lines, then just follow that anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just stitch along here, and I'm just going to stitch essentially a back stitch, because we don't want any spaces clear, visible, I mean, in this stitch. Think of it like just like a wall. We want those stitches nice and packed in to give that effect. All right, let's put one more in. There we go. Now, what we need to do is, I'm going to start here just because then I can sort of get a feel for the size of the stitching on the next row. Really close to that top row of stitching, I'm going to stitch another stitch the same size as the one I've done on a top line. And go along the line. There we go. Make sure that you're not piercing the stitch. Also, we're not coming out underneath those stitches in the top row, it's directly below them, but without a gap. So just take your time to make sure that you're coming up through the fabric in the right place. Now I'm at the end of the line, I'm going to pop that little bit in there to complete that row. And then we just need to keep alternating. So we're stitching a row that's effectively the same as that top row. And it builds up really nicely, this one. I like brick stitch a lot. And often actually I end up stitching long and short a little bit like this, because it's effectively quite similar if you're doing it in a fairly rectangular space. Let's pop that one at the end of the previous row in, because then we can get those ends nice and tidy. And that's it. So you would basically just keep adding in. Once you've got the stitches in and you're feeling more confident, you might want to start your row with that little stitch there. But you just keep adding those same bricks in, keep building it up until the whole area that you need to stitch is completely covered in stitching. You could use a variegated thread, it would give a really nice effect. It's a lovely textural stitch, this one. Pop that last one in there. And there we go. Ta-da! That is brick stitch.